Welcome to Two Guys No Credentials
where two completely unqualified people talk about nothing.
and everything.
Like we know what we're doing. Spoiler, we don't.
Yeah, this isn't really great either because like now these seats are so much lower than where I normally sit. So now the camera's like up higher to make it all work. And like
It's okay.
for those listening on Spotify, just pretend I'm doing something funny.
I'll edit this out.
Yeah, we'll let it this out.
That's your line. I'm like, what's his name? George Mancia? Is that Jose Mancia?
Carlos Mencia?
Carlos Mancia.
We definitely have to edit this out.
Why? Because I sound racist?
A little.
Whatever. I'm not good with names. Oh man. All right. Wow.
Kevin Mencia.
So I got a great story from the VA, and I was hoping I wasn't going to.
Hit me with it, bud.
So I have an appointment with primary care today with the VA, and I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I'm like, let me just text Jeff and tell him whatever. So I texted you and I said, I'm at the VA right now. Hopefully there's no story for the pod today. And 2 minutes later, I text you, there's a story, which is just so funny.
Reading it too, I was in a meeting and I like looked at my watch. And I'm like, oh, hopefully I don't have a story from the VA today. And I'm like, nice. Like, I think the stories are always great. And then 2 minutes later, I got one.
Yeah. So the nurse comes into the waiting room and she's like, okay, come on, Eric. And she brings me to the scale. She turns it on and she's like, just wait a minute. It needs a second to zero out. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm familiar with scales, but thanks for the advice. This is my first time here, so I get it. And she's talking a lot, like personal questions and just talking to me and not about why I'm there today. And that really makes me uncomfortable because I do not know what to say. And she makes a comment. She's like, "Oh, I like your shirt. I like Metallica too." And it just says Metalhead. It doesn't say anything about Metallica, so she just assumed. But then she starts telling me about a story. I'm so uncomfortable at this point because she's just talking, and I'm like, "Yes, okay, yeah, sure." And because I don't know what to say, how to respond to her or anything. So she starts telling me a story about when she went to a town meeting, and they asked the audience or whatever it's called at a town meeting, the townspeople, who liked Metallica, and she was so surprised that so many people liked Metallica. And I'm like, you have to say something. You have to say something. You have to say something. You haven't said anything. You have to say something. And I'm like, yeah, lots of people like shitty music. And I'm like, fuck, why did I say that?
What?
Yeah. Shit. Oh man. So she looked at me and she's like, "Oh, you're not a Metallica fan?" I'm like, "No." But she reads the shirt. She's like, "Oh, it doesn't say Metallica. It says Metalhead and it's a robot." And I'm like, "Oh my god, it's not." Like it's not a robot. He's an android. He's a droid.
It's way different.
Way different.
Get it
Oh,
right,
man.
Mom.
Yeah. So that's my VA story. That's what happened.
All right, let's pause here real quick. My mic isn't recording.
And we're back. Your
And we're live.
All right. That was weird, but
That was
my
weird.
story's so good.
Oh, that is funny. Like, because I can see it, right? Like, you just see Metal, and then you're like, oh, Metallica, because it's kind of a cool shirt. It's got like, shit happening on it. It's definitely made to look like a metal band T-shirt, but they definitely didn't look hard enough. And then like the fact that you're wearing it and that you don't have a filter, chef's kiss.
I'm just in my head going, you have to say something. Say something. Do it now. Say something. Think of something. That's what came out?
You know what's funny? I was just about to say I would love to hear your inner monologue that goes on, but then I remembered I do just after.
Yeah.
If there's inner dialogue going on, it's gonna come out.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's terrible.
Oh, it's awesome, dude. You know what? Because what is cool about it, like seriously, is you never have to guess what you're thinking. You'll be honest about it, and maybe like there's certain situations where I just stand back and watch the fireworks, but
It's terrible. Oh,
I love
man.
it. I think it's great.
Especially going out to restaurants.
Oh man, like when we were on the cruise and that waiter just kept asking, "How is everything? Is everything good?" And you're like,
Huh?
"You know what? It's really terrible."
Yeah.
But you said it so kindly. You were just nice to him. This is I don't you remember specifically. You're like, "I don't know what's bad about it, but it's bad."
But it's and I told him my ancestors were rolling in their graves because I was eating like I don't know, some pasta dish. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was ziti or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Uh,
best part is that guy didn't give two shits because this was
no.
his very last cruise and he was retired. So like he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it was bad? I don't give a fuck." He just moved on.
Yeah, it's always bad. Who cares?
Well, I mean, it probably is. It was a Carnival cruise.
Yeah, it can't be good. Oh man. Any stories, updates, or anything before we get into our regrets?
Um, Not really. Maybe it's just something to watch out for. I had to fill in on drums for a music video for a friend of mine. He's making his career out of music, so like this kind of stuff really matters for him, and being able to like put stuff out there on social media. So I was really cool to get the call, and I already kind of knew the song anyway, so I just kind of listened to it a couple of times, and it was really cool to kind of be in that environment with actual professionals, like a videographer who knows what he's doing, and like the set design and all that. It was really really cool. And so when it's out, we'll definitely talk about it more, and then we'll link it in an upcoming podcast. But yeah, really pretty cool experience to just kind of be a part of it, and they're a bunch of nice people, so it's a really cool event. What the coolest thing about it, I think, because I've talked about it on the pod before. It's the Rock Autism Foundation, so they will actually hire kids on the spectrum or with Down syndrome, and then some of the footage you see is footage they shot, which is cool
Oh, that
to
is
give them
cool.
to give them an opportunity to earn money, like doing something in the arts, like that's really kind of neat and interesting and fun for them to do. Like is a really really unique opportunity, and there happen to be a bunch of um, speech therapy students from University of Buffalo that also volunteered their time to continue to work with those kids. So now like you're able to impact all of these people where like the students can work with, the foundation members and help them and help with their, speech and get to know people and get to kind of get used to different speech patterns. And that's a huge learning experience for them. But then on top of that, they're also helping these students be able to like, uh, you know, earn a little bit of money doing really cool things. So
Yeah, that's
really
cool.
awesome.
I like that. And I'm glad you're a participator because I'm not, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to
Someone's got
give
to do
back.
it, man. I can't. It's a problem I have. I can't say no to things. If someone asks me to help, I help them.
I need $50,000, Jeff.
All right. Well, I can start a bake sale. Um, I'll bake some brownies and we'll get started on that. Uh,
I bet your brownies are really good.
I don't bake, dude. I love cooking. I have no patience for baking.
Oh, that was the sexual innuendo. Yeah, you could sell lemonade on the side of the road.
You can sell lemonade. Um, I mean, I don't know what plasma goes for these days. We could do that.
Do people still do that? Is that still a thing?
Oh, it's got to be. People need plasma.
I don't need plasma.
I mean, that's a good point. I'll have to get back to you.
All right.
Yeah, who needs plasma? I'm sure, like, patients, right? They need plasma. I would also think like aliens, they need plasma for their ray guns. So
all right. Okay. Yeah. Well, it depends on what universe we're talking about. If we're talking Star Wars, they don't use plasma; they use Tabana gas.
well, that's obviously not the universe that we're talking
Fun
about.
fact. Just saying. All
That
right.
is awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Let's get
Thank
into
God.
our regrets and make this personal. What do you think?
Hell yeah, dude. Let's do it. I have a regret, and it's not really like so much of a regret because once again, I was helping somebody do something, and I enjoy that part of it. My brother's putting in a deck, and it's a pretty sizable deck. It's going to be awesome. So we had to shovel 10 tons of stone Saturday morning, and man, that is literally backbreaking work.
Why?
Well, so you need to have that stone, so like when the snow melts and shit, the water has somewhere to go instead of just like pooling up around your foundation. It helps like disperse it. So you put the deck right on, like you build it up on top of that, so then the water has somewhere to go. But my little tiny body is not built for that life. These delicate hands, they can't deal with manual labor. I don't think so.
No, definitely not. You're not built for it. You know
You're
what
just not
though?
built
I
for
got to
it.
ask you a question.
Mm.
Why didn't you ask the guy who broke down in your driveway? I feel like he owes you a favor.
Yeah, the guy that ruined my driveway. Oh, that moron. Jesus Christ. You know what's funny about that guy? He shows up like to the neighborhood and we like kind of ambush him. I kind of felt bad about that part of it, but um when he told me like if I could figure out how to get concrete, if I could guarantee concrete in Buffalo, I'd be a millionaire. I'd be wearing a suit right now. I would drive up in a Lamborghini. But then I looked, I'm like, you're driving a souped up Ford Raptor. It's like a $90,000 vehicle. You are driving a Lamborghini, you moron. That's how dumb you are.
Wait, we're talking about two different people. I think
Hmm.
the guy who you like DoorDashed mulch from
Oh
and
my
broke
God.
said he owed you a favor.
We are talking about two different people. So
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about the guy who ruined my driveway. What you're talking about is the poor fella whose car broke down in my driveway.
yes, yeah.
My driveway's seen
That's
a lot of shit in 3 years.
seriously a lot of shit.
Yeah. Anyways, going back, what was kind of, I don't know, kind of neat in a way. So it was my brother's house, so my dad was helping us a little bit, and my dad was explaining a little bit like that's what his grandfather did for a living, was shovel stone like that, and then they would pour concrete because he's an Italian. That's what we do, concrete.
Yeah,
And like they did that for 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. I'm like, Jesus Christ. When you think about, I did it for maybe 4 hours, and like I couldn't move the next day. Doing that every single day, like no power tools. I mean, we've become soft.
well, these were men, real men, not like
These
men
were,
like us, like real men.
yeah, real men. And like right now, I'm sitting in a finished basement in the stadium seats that I purchased, and I have the internet in my pocket at all times. I have gushers. Like I'm not built for manual labor.
I have gushers. Oh man, gushers sound. I haven't had a gusher in a long time. That sounds good.
Yeah, they're not bad. They hit the spot every once in a while. See, the thing is, I don't have much of a sweet tooth. I'm not a candy guy, but
Mm.
every once in a while something will hit the spot.
I like a piece of chocolate after dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then
I,
I'm like my piece of chocolate is like a pint of ice cream.
yeah. Well, I mean, just a smidge, just a skosh.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I was on the ice cream train for like a year. Right after dinner, we'd have some ice cream, and we were crushing ice cream. This was mostly COVID times though, so like everyone did that. I feel like.
Yeah. All right. Anything else for your regret?
Um, I mean, not really. That's no majority of the regret. Just like the way my body felt after. But I mean, it was nice out. It was cool. We got it all done basically. So it was kind
Oh,
of
that's good.
cool to feel accomplished like that.
Oh,
But like that
I
kind of
would.
manual labor, man, we need that stuff. We need people that do that. And I'm really thankful that there are people that do that kind of thing for a living. So then you and me, we can sit here in our homes making a podcast that my own wife doesn't listen to.
Yeah, and complain about shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's what
Mhm.
that's what we're here to do. Speaking of, complain about some shit that doesn't matter. Let's go.
Oh, well, speaking of ice cream as well, um, last week somebody had a birthday at work, um, and somebody's asked me, "Hey, Eric, will you go to this grocery store and buy a bunch of ice cream?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." So I drive to Stop and Shop, um, and I go to the freezer aisle, and all the freezers are blocked by like pallets of
Oh
of
no.
of groceries. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is this like this? And there's employees everywhere. There's an emergency. Like there's a grocery emergency. There's 7 employees. You never see any employees at the grocery store, and there's 7 in the aisle. But nobody's explaining what's happening. And I'm sure I look confused because this doesn't make any sense. Like I need ice cream, but I can't get to it. Um,
Yeah.
and finally, I start grabbing the pallets and trying to move them, and some giant person comes over. And when I say giant, he's got to be 6'7" and just like Andre the Giant, huge. And he's like, "Excuse me, sir, you can't do that." I'm like, "Well, I need ice cream for a party." He's like, "We have to keep all the doors closed because the freezers are broken. We don't want to lose product." A- And I'm like, "Well, if I take that, you won't lose it because I'm going to buy it." And
Yeah.
he's like, "No, you can't do that."
Wouldn't you rather sell the product that you don't have to worry about losing it?
Yeah. So I'm super pissed because nobody said anything. They're just letting me walk around looking like an asshole. So I leave in a huff. I'm huffing. I'm like, ugh. And get to my car. I'm not from the area I work in. So I Google another grocery store, and there's Market something or other, Litchfield Market or Market 32 Litchfield, something like that. I'm like, okay, it's 5 minutes down the road. I'll go. Get in, and it's kind of like a hippie-ish store, like worse than Trader Joe's because it's real. Like it's a real hippie store. You know what? Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
it does make
Uh,
sense.
and I go there. I enter at the end of the store. There's no freezer aisle. So I walk to the back, start walking to the other end, thinking that's where the ice cream's going to be because that's where the ice cream's supposed to be in a grocery store, but it's like cereal. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. So I turn back around. I'm like, they don't have fucking ice cream. This fucking hippie bastards. So I find, so I finally find like the freezer aisle. It's the dead middle of the store. So I grabbed like 17 things of ice cream, and I didn't grab a basket because I'm a moron. So I'm like going like this. And at the end of the freezer aisle, there's a man standing dead center, holding a basket and scrolling on his phone. And there's 2 checkout aisles. Both have occupants, but they're paying. So I just walk around this man, get into an aisle, and the guy bagging kind of looked at me funny, and I was like, "What was that?" And the person checks out and leaves. The cashier looks at me and says, "Were you in line, sir?" And I slowly look behind me, and there's nobody there. Right, like, so I turn back to her slowly and kinda give her a funny look. She's like, "The line starts at the freezer aisle."
What?
And I'm like, What do you mean?" She's like, "The freezer aisle, the line starts there." I'm like, "Well, there's nobody in line." And she's like, "Yeah, she's like, "It starts back there." I'm like, "Well, there's nobody in line." And she's like, "Well, for next time, Just know that's where the line starts." And I was like, "I won't be
Oh
coming
my
back next
god.
time." Yeah. So, I was like, "I won't be coming back." She just looked at me like I was a complete asshole. But that's my
Well,
regret, going to some hippie store to try to buy ice cream for somebody's birthday.
I know the line starts there, right? But like when you're at the front of the line, then you come here. So if there's nobody at the front of the line, the next move is here. I am the
Right,
front of the line.
right. There's 2 people paying, so that means there's room for you to go up and put your stuff on the belt. But that
Yeah,
man wasn't. He was scrolling on his phone. Snooze, you lose.
I agree. That
But
is
that's
so
a
what a gross emergency.
well, yeah, what a dumb place. But my thing is like, are we really like reinventing the grocery store line wheel? Is that what we're doing here? This is why I can't stand these kinds of people or these kinds of places, because we've got to be different. Like Trader Joe's, everything's at an angle. Why is it all at an angle? Like, can't you just have them flush with the beginning of the store, please?
Yeah,
Like
let's make
that's
everything
what
nice
we
and
want.
angular.
Yeah. Oh God. Like we got to be different. Hey, let's not do it how everybody else does it. Maybe the reason why everybody's been doing it that way for 150 fucking years is because it works.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. Let's treat it like the roadways, right? We have intersections. When you get to an intersection, you don't just plow through it because there could be somebody around the corner. You get to your intersection, you look. All right, cool. I'm not going to hurt anybody. That's my biggest pet peeve when you're in the grocery store and somebody just like, oh, I forgot bread. And they just whip around like there's nobody in this 20,000 square foot store but you.
So dumb.
So dumb.
Um, but I mean, I do regret doing it, but also I don't regret doing it because now I have a lifelong grudge against the grocery store, and I didn't have that before.
Yeah, I feel like you're someone that needs to have a grudge at the grocery store.
Yeah,
Like it's
I was definitely missing that in my life.
yeah, it's at this point it's good for your health.
It's good for my health. This is definitely not good for my health. Although I had perfect blood pressure at the VA today, so
Hell yeah, dude, let's go.
yeah, I don't hold any of it in. I just let it all out.
Well, there's something to be said for that actually. I do have a question though.
Go shoot.
So ultimately, you got the ice cream and you brought it back to work, and everyone had a great time.
I don't know. I went home. I didn't even have ice cream.
How did you leave that out of the story? That's the best part.
Oh, I was bummed that I didn't get ice cream.
Uh, I mean, I would be too.
Yeah, I love ice cream.
You know what
So good.
slaps, by the way? Klondike bars.
Yeah?
Oh, I will crush a Klondike bar.
How do you eat your how do you eat your Klondike bar?
Um, well, you got to be careful about the melting right away. So you got to unwrap it and use a little bit of the wrapper, and you got to eat it that way. And then you get down to the bitter end, and then you risk it.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna tell you something about the Klondike bar.
Okay.
Um, I don't like them,
Oh.
and here's why. Um, I like my ice cream melted and a soup.
Hmm. I did know that about you.
Yeah, and you can
I
do
mean,
it with a Klondike bar, I guess. You could break it up into pieces, but it's not as satisfying.
that doesn't seem like it would be. That is the wrong way, by the way. It's the wrong way to consume ice cream, but I
Have you
will
ever done
allow it.
it?
Yeah, I mean, I've had ice cream that was a little melty. It's nice. It's don't get me
A
wrong, it's
little
nice.
melty? You want it like a
But
cold ceviche.
I don't think I've ever compared my ice cream to a ceviche before.
It's so
but
refreshing.
I disagree on this one because ice cream should be able to be placed in a cone. You can't put liquid in a cone.
You sure can.
You just tip it,
Yeah,
or you just
yeah.
you suckle it like a teat.
Yeah, well, you hold it, you put your pinky out, and it's the sophisticated way to eat ice cream.
Yeah, the old Benjamin Franklin.
We're never gonna get to the deep end, but I gotta tell you, when I was in Japan, I um I was friends with this guy, and he was there a couple of weeks before I was there, so he kind of knew the lay of the land and everything. So he brought me to a restaurant, and the first thing he orders is ice cream, an ice cream cone. I don't know what the fuck, like ice cream before dinner. Man, Japan is wild. So, he eats all the ice cream out of the cone, but he saves the cone, and he orders
Hmm.
something, and I don't know what it is, but it finally comes out, and it's this mashup of, like, shredded cabbage and some sort of meat, and it's got little tiny fish in it with, like, beady eyes, like something they would feed to the seals if they got a little bigger, and I'm like, "What do you eat?" And so he starts scooping it into the cone, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Oh, he's like, "I love this, like, you should try this one day." And I'm like, "Oh, what is it?" It's like, "It's raw horse meat." "No, thanks."
Yeah, no, thank you.
"No,
Although,
thanks."
if I'm being honest, Secretariat probably tastes amazing.
Oh my god, we're going down. Hold on, hold on. We gotta fix this. What what is what is happening? Why won't you stay up? What? Oh my god. I'm never gonna recover from this. What is happening? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh
Oh,
my god, what a nightmare. What a fucking look at this is what we is this what we have to deal with?
um, does your chair go down any further?
No, no.
Oh no!
Oh my god. This is crazy.
And we're back.
Yes, we are. We just had an earthquake in Connecticut, and wow, everything just really
Yeah,
went off the rails.
Lizzo must have just stepped off her tour bus.
Hey, she looks great.
Yeah.
She lost like 3 pounds.
Oh
I'm never going to
man,
recover from this. It's so bad.
that's all good. All right, let's take a deep breath.
I
We'll
can't
cut.
even breathe.
We'll we'll cut half of that out because it's hilarious. We got to see some of it.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Oh
All
my
right,
god, what a nightmare.
ready? 3, 2. All
Deep breath.
right, and we're back.
Yeah.
Twice, 2 times.
2 times. Technical difficulties all over the place from Buffalo to Connecticut. We're doing a great job today.
Professionals, dude. This is what we do. All
Yeah,
right,
and now
so we didn't get to our we didn't get to our deep end last week, and I really want to make sure we have time to talk about the deep end section of the podcast today: the decline of patriotism in America. We're gonna get serious for a second.
yeah, I'm gonna try.
We're
And
gonna try to recover.
the question for today is really, why does it feel like patriotism is dying in America? Um, and like it just feels like even if we're not as patriotic, it feels like more and more people are uncomfortable saying that they have pride in the United States, and um, I don't know. I think that's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. I spent a little bit of time thinking about this, and I think that in this sense, right? Why does it feel like patriotism is dying in America? I think almost all of it, for me, the way that I feel about like the country and people in it, and the way that they feel about the country, I think it has to do with um, the divide that exists right now. It's probably the most palpable it's been in my lifetime. And like there's such a divide. And I think what makes when I think about patriotism, I think about everyone that has this universal goal, like unification, like unifying the country in that goal. And because there's such a division right now, I just think that that's why it feels like patriotism isn't there. However, for me, I think that I see patriots on both sides of the aisle. It just manifests itself in different ways.
I
Does that make
agree.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, the whole premise of the deep end today is that for me, I agree with you. I don't think patriotism is disappearing. I think it's become politicized.
Mm,
And that's why we see the decline. That's what I think.
mhm,
So, I I jotted down some quick stats. Gallup's 2026 polling for American Pride is at a 25-year low.
mhm,
53% of Americans are extremely or very proud to be an American. 33% are extremely proud. 70% of Republicans are extremely proud. 28% of independents are extremely proud. 14% of Democrats are extremely proud. So the decline is real,
mhm.
but why?
Yeah. I just have a quick question about these stat lines. So, 53% are extremely proud or very proud to be an American. Is it of that 53, 33 are in the extremely proud category?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I think I feel like this polling is very accurate for like my own walk of life, the people that I know. I'm obviously friends with. Oh, this is going to sound worse than I meant it, but I'm friends with a lot of people, and all people from different backgrounds and like walks of life and different ideals and everything. So I feel like I sit in this. I definitely fall into. Um, I don't really know that I fall into any of these categories that are listed out. Actually,
Oh, really?
I'm definitely not as. I'm definitely in the bracket where I am not as proud of the country as I wish I was.
Hmm.
Um, and I think the current administration has a lot to do with that for me. But also, I turned to things like the World Cup, right? All the footage coming out about the World Cup when the Team USA was still in it, and what other countries actually think about us. Like we're from everything that I've seen, and not just some clips, but like everything, the different chants, the different interactions that people have posted. There are some really good ones, like when Iran was playing in the U.S. and like U.S. fans were like happy they were there, and like we're listen, it's all about football today, and whatever's going on overseas right now, it's not for here, and like everyone got together. I thought that was really really cool. However, most of the other countries and how they think about America is that we're a joke. Because things that are happening right now, I can see why they think that, and I don't know if I agree, but like I get it.
Yeah. Um, well, I got to be honest with you. I feel like it was always like this because I remember people talking about, like in the 90s, talking about how the French hate us, you know? So I think this was always a thing like, oh, those stupid Americans and their French fries and apple pie. They stole everything from Europe and that blah, 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 blah. So I think this is always a thing. But you know what? Who cares what they think? They're not Americans. Their countries are stupid. And our country is the greatest country to ever exist in the entire universe ever. So it really doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is Americans.
Mhm.
So I fall into, I guess we disagree on this, but I'm extremely proud to be an American. Um, I may not be proud of the state of the country right now,
Mhm.
but I'm proud to be an American because we have such a special framework in this country that we can change and we can get better. Um, and if we make a mistake, we can also say, "Hey, we made a mistake. We can go back." We have the ability. Nothing's set in stone except for the Constitution of the United States, and that's not even set in stone either. We can make change. Just a lot of us have to agree with it.
Yeah, we can amend it, right?
Yeah.
So let me clarify a couple of things about how I feel. I I took the question as like, am I proud to be an American right now? Um, Obviously, overall, I'm extremely ecstatic. I feel very fortunate and proud to be an American, just generally overall.
Mhm.
But am I proud of the country right now? Not really. Um,
But that's the thing. That's why I'm saying. So that's my question. Like, are we
mhm,
really less patriotic? Are we less comfortable saying that we are proud? And has patriotism become political? Because right now, what you're saying is almost a political point of view.
that's a
Like,
good, that's a decent point.
I'm
Yeah.
not proud of it now because there are Americans. I'm, the MAGA people who are super proud of what's happening. You know, um, so that's a political thing, and I'm saying the United States of America. Are we proud to be Americans?
Hmm. I mean, I think if you would, if this poll was worded in that way, I think you'd be a lot closer to 100% of Americans being proud to be Americans. Um, but I don't know that patriotism is synonymous with being proud to
Well,
be an American.
the question was, are you proud to be an American?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think if you were to lay it out that way, almost everyone would agree. Well, unless you're stating that's what Gallup's polling was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you proud to be an American? That's
Well, I
it.
think what's difficult about polls in general, though, um, is it doesn't account for what people think the question means. So
Right. But
most
I
people
mean,
are
we
thinking,
have to,
right?
but the only thing we can do is assume that they know what the question means. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's how the data works, I guess. I don't know. But that's really here nor there, I think. Right?
I
I
don't
mean,
know. I think
if it's a 25-year low and it's the same question from 25 years ago, there's definitely a decline.
yeah, if it's the same question from 25 years ago, definitely. I think that that makes it a lot more statistically significant. Uh, I guess the question is why.
Right. Um, and that's what we're here to talk about. And we have no credentials to do it, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay. So anyway, so I got I so here were my thoughts, and we're just going to kind of go through them, and I want to see if you agree or disagree or what you have to
Mhm.
say. And I don't know. Hopefully, it creates some good conversation between us. Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm down. I love it.
All right. So here's my thought. So I think because it's on the Democrat side, it's on the left side. Obviously, there's independents in there, um, but that's where we're seeing the decline. We are seeing a decline in Republicans right now, but it's not as dramatic as the left. And
Mhm.
I think from just what I see online and read in articles and the news and everything else, this is what I interpret that decline as. The left hates what it thinks patriotism represents. Does that make sense?
I think so. If you could elaborate a little bit, though.
So I think the left really associates um, uh, embracing the flag, the military, the Constitution, founding principles, traditional national pride. They associate that with conservatives and the right, and specifically right now, Trump and MAGA. Um, so they're not. rejecting America completely, but they're rejecting what they associate patriotism with.
Hmm. Like almost like buzzwords, you're saying.
Not buzzwords, but like conservatives, they're like, "Hey, we like the Constitution, we like traditional values, we like this, we like that." And the left is saying, "Oh, well, that's what patriotism looks like," rather than, my outlook on patriotism for me, um, well, I guess it is the traditional values, the Constitution, pride in the United States, the military, supporting them, not supporting your team like the left and the right, but supporting like what this country was built on and the idea of the United States being a better, freer place around the world.
Yeah, I think from what I see, from my point of view, what I kind of believe is, and I guess this is why like progressives tend to be kind of left leaning, is I look at all of those things, the military, the Constitution, and I find, I guess with our current administration and what I'm feeling, because that's kind of what we're talking about, right? Like, because within the last 25 years, and particularly this, like the last 2 years, I think you're seeing that decline in patriotism because I find there to be a lot of hypocrisies when the right talks about the Constitution and what it means and how important it is. I find there why aren't we asking more questions about what we're sending our military into? I find like the founding principles or traditional like values, like I think it's awesome that people vote for traditional values, but when we're pushing that to make that federal law, that's a problem for me. Like that should be a state law, right? Um, if that's what you're looking for, depending on what we actually mean by defining traditional values. But um, I don't know. I don't think that, but I also don't think any of that for me means that I'm not a patriot. I just know that our country is great and it could be even better. And
Uh-huh.
that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to continue to make this country better. I'm looking to move the country forward. And when I see our current administration like getting in the way of that, yeah, I can't be proud of what's happening.
Right. Well, I think um we always do this, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to say this right now because you
Mhm.
know what it's going to turn into. I don't want to make this a debate about Trump or any other presidents. But for me, the way I look at this is in the past 20 years, I have seen the power of the presidency become bigger and stronger and
Mhm.
more encompassing. And that's through conservative and liberal or Democratic and Republican candidate or presidents. Um, wow, that was really hard to say. Um, but I think,
We'll edit this out.
yeah, but I think for me, we talk about traditional values, and I guess when I look at it, traditional values for me is um, people should be free. People have rights. The government is there to protect those rights, not give them to people. We already have them. They're there to protect them. The government's job, first and foremost, is to protect and take care of its citizens, and that's
Mhm.
it. Um, I mean, I could go on, but that's what I think is traditional values. I'm not talking about marriages between a man and a woman
Mhm.
or no sex before marriage and that sort of thing, because societies do evolve. Do I think that maybe the left has gone a little overboard with that? Absolutely. But that's the point in living in a society where we think people should be free. They can choose to have different opinions, live their lives as long as they don't hurt anybody or take their stuff. That's how I feel.
Yeah, or kidnap their dog.
Well, that's their stuff. That falls in under the category of stuff.
My
Um,
Xbox, my dog.
but I guess
Um,
I guess like for me, it's like if I could talk to all the people who dislike or are proud to be Americans, I would say that the flag is not strictly Republican. The Constitution isn't Republican. Freedom's not conservatism. Like these are things our country was built on. And if you fundamentally don't like those things, go somewhere else. Because like I agree with you, we have to make things better. But if you fundamentally don't like those things, then America isn't for you. That's how I feel.
no, I think you're right about this, and that's where I think that it's going to be tough to talk about this topic without this current administration, because to me, those numbers that you pointed out before is a direct correlation with current administration. Now
I'm
we don't
sure
have to go down that road, but
I, I'm sure they're responsible for a large drop, but
mhm,
I remember in God, when was the Occupy Wall Street stuff going on? It's got to be
2009-ish.
2009. Yeah, because I was working in operations in San Diego, and I remember seeing Marines in uniform, protesting a part of the Occupy Wall Street protest, and like holding up signs talking shit about like the American government. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, you're not supposed to do this kind of stuff. So it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, but I don't think that even Occupy Wall Street and all of that was to the level and quantity that it
No,
is right
absolutely not. I'm just saying
now.
there's a gradual decline, and maybe we got a little steep decline, after Trump. But uh, I think it's
You
been
think it
steadily
has
going
been
down.
declining for a long time?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think so. If I take a step back for a little bit, I think I might have gotten a little ahead of myself too. Um, I think that no, like overall, there's a general frustration from everyone. Like we've talked about this before on this podcast, where like the last several elections was kind of like if you're somebody that votes on party lines, it's a bad choice versus another bad choice, and
Yeah.
like that's frustrating. Um, Going back to was it it was Obama and Mitt Romney.
Hmm. Yeah.
I actually really liked Obama as a president overall. There were a lot of things I didn't like, but like if it's a pass fail assignment in school, he gets a pass for me. Uh,
That's
like
interesting.
for that. But then like, was there a better candidate at the time? I'm sure. Now I am kind of too young to know or have really understood any of that at that time. But then fast forward, now you're talking about like Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, two horrible choices again, right? Then you're talking about Donald Trump or Joe Biden, two horrible choices again. And then you're talking about
Yeah.
Biden and Trump again, two horrible choices again. It's just like it's to me. I can understand why it's so frustrating, and I understand that like ultimately Biden wasn't the one that ended up really running, but like we talked about this last week, Kamala Harris ended up being forced down people's throats. Now, I still think she was an excellent candidate, and I like implored people to vote for her. But I couldn't really be mad that they were frustrated that she got the candidacy without running.
Hmm.
like, like no primary. There's like it just like was decided and and force fed down everyone's throat, and that's a frustrating thing. And it's because, and I've said this before, I align myself my values and what I want for the country aligns more with on the left, but I'm still realistic in that Democrats have a problem because they love the smell of their own farts, and they can't get their head out of their own ass and understand that like condescending people on the right to try to be correct about things, making people feel stupid and like that's not going to get us anywhere, and that's
Right.
why they didn't vote for Kamala. And so, when you take all of that bullshit, yeah, it doesn't really like. I can see why people don't feel as much pride in their country, because
Right.
even if they voted at the numbers that they should, they're still choosing between two horrible candidates.
Well, you're kind of like bleeding into the like my next kind of topic.
Mm,
Because so what for me, like I grew up on stories like World War II, the moon landing, the Cold War, national unity. And then as I was becoming an adult, we had September 11th, and the country really unified around that. And
mhm,
I ended up joining the Marine Corps shortly after. Um, but the younger generations, people who were born in the late 90s, early 2000s, um, they grew up with two wars, the financial crash, school shootings, COVID, inflation, national debt, um,
mm.
and then you've got Trump, Hillary, Trump, Biden, Trump. And like I got like this great highlight reel, and they grew up with like the blooper reel, you know?
Oh man, this is a really great angle.
Right. Yeah, I think well, I'm super smart, so
Zero credentials, but you
yeah,
stumbled upon a good one.
yeah, yeah. Um, but like I think what has happened is we had two wars in we had what a war in Iraq, a war in Afghanistan, we had all that stuff, and um young people kind of feel like America failed them to give them the thing that they could easily be proud of. I mean, it's so hard to own a home now. Everything's so expensive. We talked about this before. Um, and you don't like you have to have something to unify around, and September 11th wasn't going to do it forever. Like you have to have
Mhm.
a country that works, and it just doesn't feel like it's working anymore.
Yeah, and how unfortunate that it takes a tragedy and a disaster like 9/11 to bring the country together. That's what it feels like right now. If it feels like the that's the only thing that would do it, and it's a sad place to kind of live. But I think that you're absolutely right, and I have a quick question for you, and I don't mean this in a mean way. What generation are you a part of?
I'm on the border of millennial and Gen X
Gotcha. Okay,
because
because
so I think a lot of people would say I'm a millennial because I'm 83. Um, but you see different years where it starts like sometimes they say millennials are 81, sometimes they're like 83. I don't consider myself a millennial. Um, I because I just don't. I
mhm,
don't know why. Like I feel
mhm.
I when I look at millennials and how they're talked about and the way they're described, I just don't feel like that's describing me.
Yeah, well, I think if you did grow up on like the border year, right around one of those border years of the generational split, I think environment matters a lot, right? And the type of media and everything that you're ingesting, all of that. So that makes total sense. But like for like I'm staunchly in the middle of that millennial generation, right?
Yeah.
And um I think it's a great angle because I can totally see why. It's impossible to afford a home, like everything you just laid out, and like a part that's like hitting us right now, student loan problems. Like there was a promise from the government that we were going to invest in the future of our people, and then we're going to charge you 7% interest, and then we're going to tell you that, listen, if you pay some of this back and we make our interest back and we can keep money flowing into the economy, that we'll forgive the rest of your loans, because they're making that investment in us and taking our tax dollars for it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Haha, never mind. We're going to blow this whole system up, and we're going to sell all of your student loans to different companies that have different rules. And any payment plan that you were on, we're just going to move you to a different one. And then you're going to have to just deal with it." And that's what like my current our current situation is, and it's very stressful. And I feel really shitty about that because, like, what was the point? And so, like, I'm not proud of any of that. Like, all that bullshit matters. We happen to be very fortunate that we have good paying jobs, and that we were able to find them because it's impossible to do now. We're extremely fortunate, but still, that pressure is there, and it doesn't seem like anybody in the last two administrations have given a shit about it at all, and how crippling it is for us financially. And because it's crippling for us financially, how crippling it is for the entire economy, because everyone in our generation and the generation after and after and after and after is going to deal with that same problem.
It's true. Absolutely. I don't know. Uh, I really don't know.
Sorry, I went on a tangent there.
Yeah. No, it's all right. I just, um, I don't know. This part of like this part of the deep end is depressing. You know,
Yeah.
because we're supposed to be talking about patriotism, and basically we're naming all the bad things that like that we can name, and we're not even naming all of them. Not even close. All
Yeah,
the bad
but
things about our
however,
country.
when you start laying it out like that, it's not hard to figure out why people maybe aren't excited about where things are at right now. It's
Right.
totally
Exactly.
understandable. Now,
Yeah.
would anyone, if you ask any of those people, any of those millennials, would you rather live in Bangladesh? The answer is no. They would all say it, right? Like, they all know that America is the place that
No,
they would want to live.
this isn't true anymore.
You
I
really don't
I
think so? I think people say that kind of shit. Like Rosie O'Donnell's like, I'm gonna
no,
move to
no, no, no.
Canada. She never
I
fucking leaves.
I watch this shit because I'm into this stuff. So I watch conservatives go to campuses and ask students, like, would you rather live in the United States or would you rather live in Iran? And people say Iran.
Yeah,
They'll say, if you have a choice between Israel and any other Middle Eastern country, which country would you pick? And they're like, well, I wouldn't pick Israel. That's a bad place. And it's like, really? Like, it's the closest thing that you have to here, and you hate it? Like,
yeah.
that's how
Listen, in fairness, none of them would actually leave. Like,
no, of course not,
get them
'cause
to
they
the airport and get them there, and that's all just like bullshit they say to try to like make a point or to try to challenge whatever conservative person is going there and speaking. Like, that's all
no,
nonsense bullshit.
no, I
Eh,
understand, but it's still, like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I don't think there's any person who would be caught dead saying something like that. Like, on
I mean,
camera?
so this could be right. However, the social media age, you're right. 30, 40 years ago, nobody would say that. But social media age, it pays to be outlandish. It pays to say the crazy thing. You get clicks, you get likes, right?
Right, but,
If you're saying the outlandish
what I
thing, and it's all just
they're not the ones getting the clicks, though. The people who are filming them are getting the clicks.
yes and no, right? Like, their social media is attached to it. People find out who they are. Like, it's all interconnected. People are not that
I
stupid.
understand, but I think they are. I absolutely think they are. I was watching a video. I don't want to get into a debate about this, but I was watching a video the other day, and somebody uh, had a poster board with the American flag, the Iranian flag, the Confederate flag, and somebody else's flag, and they were like, "Which flag is more offensive to you?" And this whole group of people were pointing to the American flag, and they're all saying, well, we're oppressed, women don't have rights, they're being taken away from us, and this and that and this and that. And it's like, and then they're asked, what rights have you lost? And they can't even answer. They can't even answer the
Yeah,
question.
I really don't understand that because I've seen shit like that too. And, like,
So
in fairness, I get like, I don't really understand like what they're saying, but I think it plays into my point though. I think it's the same, like, what I'm saying is, like, they just want to be outlandish and crazy. But if you
I don't
put
think so.
but
I
it
think these people actually believe it.
Yeah, I don't, because as soon as you got them to the airport, said, all right, we're moving you to
I mean,
Iran.
look at,
They're not gonna go.
no, but look at how like the protests going on. and you have people going and interviewing, why are you out here? Because Donald Trump's taking our rights. He's oppressing women. You know, he's oppressing the LGBTQ community. And it's like, is he? How?
Yeah, those wouldn't be the hills I would die on.
Right, but like these people are at the protests holding signs saying this stuff, and whether they actually believe it or not, they're saying it. And
But don't
that's brings me back to my point is they're not they don't hate this country. They don't hate the foundations of this country. They hate what they think it's associated with, and that's the right and conservatism and Trump and MAGA.
you know
So
what?
they
You're
they are
convincing
saying
me
it.
even further.
I don't know. That's
I
what
mean,
I think.
you're convincing me even further that that take probably is right, because I do think that that is kind of a response to MAGA holding up their signs saying that, their flags that say "Let's go Brandon," right? It's like it's a retort to stuff like that, because I also think on the right they're they claim to be so patriotic that Trump can do no wrong, right? And they're so happy about everything that's going on, even though they're parts of the Constitution have been challenged. And like, if they really cared about the Constitution, then they wouldn't like the current president. And so a lot of it is just like retort back and forth because there is such a division right now.
Well, that's my problem with Democrats and Republicans. Period.
Mm-hmm.
They don't their oath to the Constitution means shit to them. All of them.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
very few actually take that oath seriously. Um, and that's why the power of government has just the federal government has expanded and expanded and expanded because they don't care.
Yeah. It's party over country every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
On both
Um,
sides. And but again, for me, that's frustrating, and I'm not proud of that. Like, why would I be proud of a country that like only gives a shit about two teams?
yeah, I would like to say that the only two teams that matter uh, are the Bills and the Steelers, but the Steelers really don't matter.
Yeah, it's just the one team, the
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills. Which, if I could sidebar for a second,
But
this just
I
came out from ESPN. If I could sidebar
oh
for 1 second,
go
this
for it.
just
Go.
came out from ESPN. They do a poll every year of all like executives and coaches and owners throughout the NFL. I would like you to take a guess who they believe is the best quarterback in the NFL.
If I had to pick, let me see. NFL execs. It's got to be Mahomes.
No, it's your boy Josh Allen.
Oh, really? Okay. See, I thought
Yeah,
it was gonna be
hell
me.
yeah. That to me is the most significant one, because like NFL people that are in the league that see it every day, all year, they think Josh Allen's the best. And you know what? They're right. The Jets were finally right about something.
It's America's quarterback right there.
Anyways,
Um,
back to the topic.
yeah. So I thought it would be a good idea to talk about something. Um, maybe the three people who listen to us, if you're not proud to be an American, I thought, and maybe because you think that our founding documents are flawed, and that you know the because America's original promise excluded a whole lot of people, that you want to point to that as America is bad. Um, and my thing is the founders were flawed. There were people and they were flawed. And yes, they did exclude people from the promise of America, and that's wrong. But the cool thing is the founding wasn't perfect, but the ideals that were instilled in the foundation of the United States gave later generations the tools to challenge the failures of our founders. And that's what makes the United States the greatest country in the world, because
Mm-hmm.
they did that for us. They knew. They all knew. Well, not all of them, but they all felt like we're hypocrites. They knew they were hypocrites, but they were like, we need to make this special thing, and we're going to need to be hypocrites to do it, because if we're not hypocrites, it's going to fall apart before it even begins. And they predicted the Civil War over slavery, and it happened. They
Mm-hmm.
knew it was going to happen, but it couldn't happen at that time. And
Yeah.
I think it gives me fucking duck bumps, dude, thinking
I
about
think
it.
that I think the founding fathers were fascinating in this way because now I wasn't there, but in 1776 I wasn't there, but
No.
like I do think there was a little bit of them that looked back, because they were older men at the time. They would look back 40 years and they would say, like, look how much has changed even in this amount of time. If we're going to establish a country that's going to change over hundreds of years, developing a way for us to amend the Constitution and adjust to those changes is a brilliant idea. Were they flawed? Yeah, by today's standards, absolutely. And back then, I mean, I can't really wrap my head around why anyone would think that like slavery was cool or normal, but I guess that was the norm then. Like they were
I,
flawed people, and
well,
I just it's like
it wasn't the norm then. It was the norm from the beginning of time. From the
yeah, you're
beginning
right.
of time, when people started putting up walls and building buildings, they had slaves. It was the first thing that was ever traded, probably. Like slaves.
I like the punctuation of probably. There's got to be a pie chart somewhere that proves
Well,
it.
I'm not a historian, but I could probably guess, like, well, this is easy. Like, let's just go take those people and trade them to that person. Like, you don't have to grow anything, you don't have to mine anything, you don't have to
Right.
make anything, you don't have to pull out anything in the earth. Like, it just seems like that's that.
Yeah, like
Um,
I'm not a history Scientologist, but I can tell you something else that makes sense. Um, anyways, getting back to the deal, I think what those men were able to do is brilliant, and allow the future generations a way to amend the Constitution, which we've done dozens of times, and I think it makes I don't know, and that's the idea. Like you have it here. The idea was spectacular and brilliant and so forward thinking, and when you really think about like our government today and compare how forward thinking that they are to then, it's kind of embarrassing.
it is
Like
embarrassing. Yeah, you're
it's
right.
embarrassing. So yet again, another reason why like it makes sense to me that people aren't that proud of what's going on.
Yeah,
Because back then it was country over party. And they really didn't even have a parties established yet. But I remember reading a quote from George Washington talking about something to the effect of like having a limited party system, meaning like a two-party system, would be the country's demise. And I think we're starting to see the beginnings of that. When you
right.
divide the country in half that way, it starts to become, I don't give a shit what the other side says, they're wrong, even when they're right.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And then when you have a problem, then when you have a president calling them Democrats, does not help that situation. It pours gasoline on the bonfire. But
I like it. I love when people call me a libtard. I think it's so funny.
that phrase is funny.
Yeah. Um, but that's my message for everybody, and that's my little short class for anybody who thinks this country was founded negatively. Like the founding was terrible, because those principles, they were bigger than the men who wrote them, and you can't fix America by hating the principles that made it fixable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you can go tell that to the Marines. We're running out of time, so I'm going to skip. I'm going to skip a piece here because I had something else. Like, let's just skip this. We're going to move on. I think another piece to this is the American flag has become a team logo in the eyes of people.
Yeah, dig into this deeper for me.
All right, so just last week on The View, Sunny Hostin, is that what it is?
I'm sorry.
What?
Just last week on The View, Whoopi Goldberg. Like, it's just like
I think her name's Sunny Hostin.
I don't know.
She was saying that when she goes into a town where there's American flags everywhere, she doesn't feel safe. Talib, man, I can't say his fucking name. He's a rapper.
Talib
Talib
Kweli.
Kweli. That's it, Kweli.
Awesome, by the way.
Yeah, big fan. I had his CDs growing up. I didn't discover him when there was tapes. I discovered him during the CDs. Anyway, he said the same exact thing. He posted it on I think it was X. He posted that when I see a community with American flags everywhere, I know I'm not welcome. And let me tell both of you, Sunny Hostin, Talib Kweli, Newtown, Connecticut, there's American flags everywhere. Come here, you'll be safe, and you're absolutely welcome. Well, maybe not Sunny Hostin because she's got some fucking crazy shit she's got to say, but I'd still, walk past her in the grocery store and not say anything because that's the type of person I am. I don't like talking to strangers. But
it's also because you got 17 things of melting ice cream in your hands, and you got to get out of here.
Yeah,
Where's the front of the line?
But you're absolutely welcome. And my thing is Newtown can't be the only town in America with American flags everywhere, and black people are safe. But I it's become a symbol, and you're right here, and I think in this perspective that they're doing it for clicks, right? But there's people online nodding, saying, "Yeah, that's right. I don't feel safe. Those places aren't safe for me. Those white people hate us." And it's like, I go to Carluzzi's, the grocery store up the road, once a week at least, maybe twice. There's all kinds of people. Every single race you could think of is walking through that grocery store, getting along, not hating each other. And that's the United States that we should be proud of, not the shit you see online.
Yeah.
Oh, I got another story for you here. There's an HOA, homeowners association in San Diego that threatened residents with fines for displaying the American flag. And when asked about it, what did she say? What did she say? I wrote it down. Oh, I can't find it.
I got it right here if you want me to say.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so just to recap, the Homeowners Association in San Diego threatened residents with fines for displaying American flags, and the HOA stated that they viewed the flag as political or affiliative displays, and residents saw them as a symbol of a country and excuse me, and tributes to relatives who served.
It's crazy. Isn't that crazy?
It's insane. It's an insane statement.
Like, it's not a political affiliation to fly our flag.
No.
It's saying we're all from the same goddamn place. Pardon my French.
Yeah. It's, oh, yeah. I think it's interesting. That's when you chose to censor yourself. So a couple of things. I want to back up a little bit. I think that I think it's crazy for the most, well, I don't know if I want to say this. I think MAGA voices have become so loud and they preach such great patriotism and they're so proud of the country that it does. I can understand why a black person would think twice about an area that is so heavily flying the flag. In my opinion, I think it's ridiculous. I think that anyone flying the flag is because they're American. But it's the same. It's the same reason that like a MAGA hat would offend like a black person, right? I can draw that line real easily. I think it is
Yeah,
crazy
but is
for a
it easy?
homeowners association to disallow flying a flag. Now, the interesting part about this is like there are some HOAs that won't allow you to fly any flag, and like that's a completely different thing, right? You can't fly any flag. You can't like staple it to your house, and you can't do that.
Right.
And I get why some of
I
them
under-
do that, right?
I understand that, but the thing is what her reasoning.
Yeah, the reasoning is insane. Oh,
Insane.
because it's a political affiliation. No, it's not. It's the 4th of July.
Yeah. But I want to go back.
You know what's allowed at the HOA? Fucking fireworks. No flags.
No flags. Yeah. But I want to go back to something you said, because you were like, if somebody was wearing a MAGA hat, a black person might be afraid of that person or think they're racist or something like that. But that's because they've been told that's what they are.
No, I disagree with this.
No, absolutely. It's everywhere. I see it all the time. MAGA, you're a racist because you support a racist. MAGA, you don't respect women because you support somebody who doesn't respect women. You don't respect the law because you support someone who broke the law and is a felon. You're bad people because you support him. That it's all over. It's the news. It's online. Every social media platform. That's what people are saying, and like we can talk about what the right does on the other end, but right now we're focused on patriotism and the flag and why it's declining. So that's not why I'm not talking about that, because it's not declining on that side; it's declining on the left.
Yeah, but I think that plays into it because people.
But
don't you think it plays into it though? Because the people on the left are seeing that merchandise.
Yeah,
like,
but what I'm
everywhere.
What I'm saying is they've been told the media and the people controlling this narrative are othering the MAGA supporters, the people who voted for Trump. They're othering them. They're making them the bad people that need to be gone. Like their opinions don't matter anymore. They're racist.
I can see your point here. I don't totally disagree. However, the word let me just ask you real quick. The words "Make America Great Again." It's again, so that that suggests that America was great in the past. When?
When?
Yeah.
It's always been great.
So it was great when black people couldn't vote.
Nope. But it's always been great. Because it's always had
that's my point, right?
But the thing
why I can understand why a black person.
You're creating a narrative here.
Well, the words create a narrative.
No,
Make America great again.
No, you're
when?
creating a narrative of your own. Like you're interpreting those as "Make America Great Again," the time when black people couldn't vote. You just created a narrative.
No.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
No, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying I can understand why a black person would see those words and take offense.
Why?
Because yes, everyone's going to create a narrative. When you say "Make America Great Again," it's suggesting America was great in the past. And so if you're a black person,
America was great in the past.
When they were slaves, when they couldn't vote, when women couldn't vote, like that's what they're thinking in their head.
I understand what you're saying.
I am saying
what I'm saying is
why they can draw that parallel.
But they're not drawing the parallel. They're being told that online. They're being told by people who are interpreting that as saying something that it's not. "Make America Great Again" was never a slogan to bring us back to a time when black people were slaves, or women and black people couldn't vote, or there was redlining. It's not, that's never what it meant. And we all know that,
Do we?
because yes, we do. We
Oh,
know that. Where, in, in what way are we, has Donald Trump, the Make America Great or anything like that, taken away or attempted to take away the rights of any American citizen?
he literally tried to lobby for uh, the abolishment of birthright citizenship.
Yeah, that's been going on forever. When that decision, when there was a Supreme Court decision on that, there were people who were there were Supreme Court justices that dissented. That argument's been going on uh, since that, what is it, the 14th Amendment,
Mhm.
when it was amended. That argument's been going on forever. I remember them talking about it in the 90s.
Sure, that's still wrong then. It's an amendment to our Constitution.
But the but see, but the argument's been going on forever. He's not trying to take away people's rights. He's saying that their rights aren't guaranteed by the government. They don't become, and they, nobody also, first of all, we're talking about rights. Nobody has a right to become a citizen of this country. You either are or you're not. And what he's saying is you're not. What people are saying, yeah, that nobody has a right. Everyone has rights given to them.
Yeah.
And one of those rights is not, you can be an American citizen if you want to be. That's not a
Well,
right.
but that's not what the 14th Amendment says. The 14th Amendment says if you're born in this country, you're American.
Yeah, except that, but that's not a right.
So that child is sure is.
No,
Yeah.
but it's not a right.
I
You're given
don't think I get it.
you're given citizenship. You don't have a right to citizenship. There are laws that say you can be a citizen. There's no right. Rights come from nature, not from government. And in nature, there's no right saying you can be an American if you want to be. That's a law here, and the law has been disputed since forever. He's not taking away people's rights. He is taking away people's citizenship, right? Or he's attempting to, but
Mhm.
that's a debate that's been going on forever. And part of, I see it from both ways. I understand the arguments,
Mhm.
but it's not a bad, people who believe it are not bad people. They just are looking at it and say, hey, you don't just get to come here, have a baby, and now the baby's an American citizen.
Yeah, so I can see your angle there because that has been happening, right? Like, let me just get to America so my kids are American, you know. Um, I think that's a whole separate other topic and
Yeah,
issue.
we're getting into the weeds.
Yeah,
I'm just,
but
I'm just
I
saying.
still
Oh, go ahead.
I still will push back a little bit though, right? I I don't think originally the intent of the phrase "Make America Great Again" was to suggest that like we should go back to slavery because that was when it was great, or that we should like go back to before women could vote because that's what was great. I don't think is what was intended for that phrase. However, I also I staunchly disagree that it's only the media forcing that into people's heads. I disagree that it's all made up narrative around it because I'm not a black person and I can't assume to know what goes on in their minds.
You're
What I'm
right.
pointing out is that I don't think it takes Einstein to draw the parallel there for somebody who is of color. Is my take on that, right?
Right. I just,
So
okay.
then when you extrapolate further and you see that like the most patriotic people right now are MAGA people,
Mhm.
the ones that are so in line with everything that's going on. They love everything Trump is doing, and they are
Wait,
so proud to fly the
but
flag. I don't think it's like crazy to get there.
that's not being patriotic though.
Sure, but to
That's
them it
that
is, right?
that's right, right, right. But that's
Right,
that's the whole point of this,
right,
right? Patriotism has become political, but
right.
that's not patriotism. Supporting the president that you love and think is the Messiah and is going to solve all our problems, that's not patriotism. Patriotism is what I'm talking about.
I
You know,
completely agree.
and what you're saying, "I don't like this, but things can get better, and we have things to fix it, and I'd like to see it happen." Even though we disagree on how that we get there, but we're
Mhm.
both being patriotic just saying those things. And
Right.
I think this might be a good lesson for people on the right too. Like, just because you are flying the flag, just because you are supporting Donald Trump, just because you think the war in Iran is great, just because you think like ICE should be roaming the streets, stopping anybody who's brown and putting them in alligator Alcatraz is awesome. That's not patriotic.
Yeah.
Patriotic is saying, "I love this country and the principles that were it was it was founded on." That's
hmm
patriotism.
And it's so poignant right now, like just coming off of the 4th of July celebration or Independence Day, how every single year with each generation we get further and further removed of why we celebrate that day. Kind of like all holidays. I mean, really, for being honest, every generation gets further and further away from why we're celebrating that in the first place.
Well, I think, people don't care about the history of this country. I mean, and that probably ties into something the stuff we're talking about here.
Mm.
Because I remember I asked this was years ago at a different job. I asked somebody, who fought in the Civil War, and she said something wild, like the French and the South, or the French, something wild. And it's just like, how do you not know that? You know?
Right.
Um, I mean, there's people who are like, well, the white people invented slavery. What? No,
No.
we don't know, but everybody had slaves at one point. Every single person on this planet, or every race on this planet, had slaves at some point in time.
They claim the pyramids of Giza were built by slaves. They were obviously built by extraterrestrials, but that's a different discussion.
Yeah, it was extraterrestrials, and they used some sort of sound device to move those blocks.
Yeah, sound device and like um Gumby.
And Gumby. All right, well, we got 4 minutes left. I don't think we solved anything, but unlike normal, I don't think we made anything worse either.
Yeah, well, we got 4 minutes. Give a small blurb on what can we do to solve this problem? What can we do to get Americans to be more patriotic and understand what that means?
I think we got to give up the teams. The,
I was going to say the same thing.
it doesn't matter about teams. I think the other thing is politicians. I think the first step is term limits for Congress,
100%.
and I think the president's term limits need to change too. I think the president gets one term and it's 6 years. No campaigning, nothing.
Interesting.
You just do your damn job.
Interesting.
I think there needs to be term limits, and I think there needs to be age limits in Congress. And I think that while you're in Congress, you don't get to make any money other than your salary. You don't get to do stock trades. You can put money into a Roth IRA, but that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. You don't get to go to
401k.
Congress. Yeah, you don't get to go to Congress and become a fucking millionaire. AOC, or that guy with the eye patch who I can't stand, Dan
Yeah.
Crenshaw.
Literally all of them. Like
Yeah.
every single one of them do this, right? Yeah, it's well, and that's the hypocrisy though. That's why I hate the whole thing, because AOC is the biggest Trump hater out there. He's got a ton of support on the left. She's doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah. But I think that's the first step. The other thing I think is American history needs to be taught by people who actually know something about American history and not through the lens of this country was bad.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that doesn't fix anything. That doesn't unite us. That just divides people. And I think people are getting rich off that shit. And I think people really need to wake up and just read about the founding fathers. They were very interesting human beings, and a lot of them understood that they were flawed and that they
Hmm.
were hypocrites, and it haunted them. But they wanted to build something that would make all men free eventually, and it did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, I think the biggest change to make people more patriotic is our education system. I
Yeah.
think we don't care about education in this country. So select people do, but overall, like our education scores are way below our competitors around the world. And I think that if we were able to enlighten people more and create more critical thinkers, that we would have um, a lot more people unified in the same goal. Uh, and I also think that everyone should get free ice cream.
Free ice cream on Jeff.
Not not on my dime. Not on my dime.
Listen, yeah, you're sitting in seats from the Bills Stadium.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you can afford ice cream for everyone.
I stole these. No, I'm just kidding. I did not. I did not. This was a
What is
birthday
what
gift
are you
from
worried?
my
Like
wife.
Jim Kelly is going to come after you?
Jim Kelly's gonna roll up in his RV. Thurman
Yeah,
Thomas is gonna come out.
yeah.
Bruce Smith's gonna blindside me.
Yeah, give me back my seats.
Oh man, it is cool though. How much do we have any time left?
Actually, we have a few minutes because we had that debacle with the earthquake. So
Yeah. Well, let's wrap this up. I mean, we did have a really, I thought it was really cool in-depth discussion about patriotism, and we would love to know what you guys think in the comments about what makes America patriotic and what doesn't, and how we can maybe come to the center a little bit on that.
yeah, let us
Um,
know your thoughts and tell us what you think would be the fix.
yeah, be
But
interesting to have a dialogue about it.
I don't want to hear anybody saying um, that we need to stop podcasting. That's not the answer, and you guys know it.
So, um, moving on to a different topic, and this wasn't planned. I just Highmark Stadium is almost completely torn down.
Oh,
It's like new Highmark Stadium is like literally ready to go. It's a month ahead of schedule, which is super cool. There's like where they're getting ready to like actually host events in there. Like they got the training camp going on pretty soon, and then they do like the blue and red game. It's like a thing around here where uh, you know, the teams will come out and will do whatever, and they have like a practice, right? And they give like a little scrimmage before the season starts. And it's actually a
yeah,
big deal around here in Buffalo because that's a great opportunity for people who maybe can't afford tickets or don't like want to go buy tickets through the regular season. They can still see Josh Allen play. They can see James Cook or whoever. Like you can get there
right.
and get the experience. So a lot of the dialogue right now is like that's almost sold out already because so many people want to get and see that's the new stadium. And I think it's really interesting. There's a lot of people that are like all up in arms about it because the season ticket holders don't get first dibs on that. And to me, I'm like, yeah, but you got to understand some of the ticket prices this year are like in the $800 a ticket range because it's a new stadium and we're playing Kansas City on Christmas Day. So like
Yeah,
that's an expensive game. So there's a ton of people out there that I want them to go see the stadium and go see the Bills. Let them go. Let them be able to go do that.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Let them go.
Yeah, let I want any because this is like what was important to me for sports, especially in Buffalo. You have to get kids involved early. You have to get them excited about it early. If you want to continue the rabid fan base that we have in the future, you got to start them young. And the way to do that, season ticket holders, is to shut your fucking mouths and let these families go and see a practice.
This is you know what's so funny about this? And I get it. You like the Bills. Bills Mafia is a real fucking thing. I get it. But I didn't hear you say anything about American history. Get your kids started young. We want
Mhm.
them patriotic and rabid fans of the United States, and neither did I. And maybe that and maybe that is one of the problems too, is, you know, we're not like, I don't want to indoctrinate kids.
Right.
You know, I don't feel like I was indoctrinated, but my mom is a huge history buff, and she taught me so much. And, you know, she would just tell me things like George Washington, they offered him, you know, to be their king and he turned it down. And I'm like, what a fucking boss. And
Mhm.
I love that time. And I like to think, if, you know, I was living in that time, that I would be one of Washington's spies and running around Long Island and Connecticut, um, and doing my best not to get caught and killed.
I mean, yeah, but this actually is a good point, right? It's not. Well, first of all, I actually do think if the Bills were in the Super Bowl, that would be the thing to bring the country together. Everyone in the country
Yeah,
would
right.
instantly be like, "Listen, Buffalo needs this," right? And to be like completely honest, I, I don't think there's a lot of the country outside the city that we'd be playing that would root against the Bills in the Super Bowl. Like, how could you?
If it was the Steelers.
Well, we would never be in the Super Bowl. We're both the AFC.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, I would root against the Bills hard.
If we were playing the Eagles,
No, the Steelers. Did I say Eagles?
no. I'm just pointing out, like in the Super Bowl,
Uh,
how would most cities root against the Bills at that
oh,
point?
I think a lot.
You think so? I mean, like
Yeah,
New England would, Miami would, New York would.
Cowboys fans would.
I don't know that they would.
Really?
I don't, because that was so long ago, and they beat us by like 50 points in both Super Bowls. That, like, if they're still holding on to that, then
All the Kansas City people are gonna hate the Bills.
sure, Kansas City, toss them in.
I don't know. This is a good question. I have no idea. If anybody has the answer, please let us know. Um, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I think maybe a majority. Yeah, because people like to see that. They're like, man, like they never got there, and we need Allen
Yeah,
to have one. Maybe
yeah.
you're right.
I
All
think there
right,
would be a lot more support than there wouldn't be.
all right. So NFL, this is what you need to do. Those execs, write the script right
Write
now.
the script.
Josh Allen, MVP, Super Bowl. Let's get it. That's how we're gonna bring this country together.
And do you know what day the Super Bowl falls on?
It's your birthday.
This is my birthday, bitch.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
story, it's written in the stars.
If the Bills win, I'm returning your gift.
If the Bills win a Super Bowl on my birthday, there's a really good chance I will not live to see the next day. And you know what? I'm kind of all right with it. I'm going to go out on top. Has there ever been a better birthday present than a Super Bowl victory?
No. Well, maybe a dinosaur who's nice to you.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm not sure if I could pinpoint the person that received a dinosaur for their birthday, but I'll find them and I'll MySpace them.
All right, so MySpace. All right. They didn't have MySpace in the Jurassic period, so I think you're dealing with snail mail.
We are dealing with snail mail.
All right.
All right.
Wow. Let's wrap this up. I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try not to mess this up again, because I think 3 weeks in a row I haven't been able to talk. So let's see if I can give this a shot.
Let me give you a
That's it
pep
for
talk real quick,
Oh, what?
bro. I'm gonna give you a pep talk real quick, bro.
All right.
You fucking got this. You can do this. You're gonna fucking nail this. Let's fucking go.
No, I'm going to mess this up. You just put so much pressure on me. Uh, all right, that's it for the week. 2 guys, no credentials, where the questions are stupid, the answers are worse, and somehow we still learn nothing. Lower your expectations, like and subscribe. I can't say subscribe.
You did it though. You fucking got it, bro. All right, we gotta go. Hit us on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Woogie boogie.
Woogie boogie.